Hi there. Welcome. Good morning or good evening. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're here because that means you're taking time to take care of your body, to be an active participant in your own life, in taking care of yourself. This practice is one that, as you can see, we're not in a chair. However, I want you to know that you can do this in a chair. It would look pretty different, but you can still do that and feel your way around. For the most part, we'll be lying on the ground. We're going to start seated. And so again, if you'd like, if you'd prefer, sit in a chair. Nothing wrong with that. If you want, you can sit on the ground. Sit however you feel most comfortable. So sometimes when we sit on the ground, we cross our legs, our knees go up really high. If you find that that is the case, then you can do a few things. One, you might not sit with your legs crossed. Instead, you might straighten your legs out in front of you. Another thing that might be helpful if you want to sit with crossed legs or to try, you can elevate your hips. So when we lift our hips, the knees are allowed, or rather are more able to relax, to get closer to the ground. So you could get a blanket or body towels, like towels that you just have in your house. Those work perfectly fine. You don't have to have yoga props. I really encourage you just to use what you have in your house. Now, if you do find that you would like some recommendations on yoga tools and props, then drop in the comment, I would like help finding props, and I'll check in with you and help you find some. But so you could sit on a towel, and I have mine folded a little bit, and so rather than fully just sitting on it, it's really like the edge of your glutes. So you're not 100% on it, because if you fully just sit on it like you would sit on a chair, you're just lifting yourself up higher. It's not really going to address that issue, if you will. So you can try adjusting your hips, like sitting on something taller, kind of wiggle around. If you see my right hip is kind of tight, my knee isn't quite hitting the ground like the other one is. And so for me, it's actually more comfortable to put a little bit of a towel or a blanket underneath. Feel around and see what's best for you. You likely won't know at first until you try. You try different things. There's a little element of trial and error. This practice is not about, how to put it? We don't need to look like any certain way. Of course, there's structure and anatomy to shapes and poses that we're doing, but it's not that rigid. It's much more important for you to meet yourself where you are. Where you are is the only place that you can be. So maybe you feel like, kind of disappointed, wish I was more flexible. Well, guess what? You're on that path already. You're here right now. And by continuing to show up, by doing exactly what you're doing, often, likely, more mobility, more flexibility will come. But right now, your body is as it is. Be kind and compassionate to it, to you. Treat yourself like a friend. Rather than getting mad and angry or frustrated, see if you can treat yourself, your body, like a friend. I imagine that if there was a friend sitting beside you and they were sitting on the ground and they were struggling, you wouldn't be like, gosh, why can't you just do it right? Or you have to do it this way, even if you're uncomfortable. I guarantee that's not how you would treat your friend. Instead, you would help them and bring them tools and things like that to allow them to be comfortable and to be at ease. And you would even encourage them to try different things, to do something else entirely so that they're comfortable, they feel safe. Treat yourself with that same level of kindness and compassion. And notice even if it's hard to do that, that's okay. It is. But try it on. All right. So let's get started. First, as I mentioned, we'll start seated. You can sit on the floor, you can sit in a chair, doesn't matter. First, tall spine. I have a teacher who likes to say, sit as your highest esteemed self, right? So in your high esteemed self, you're tall, your shoulders are relaxed. You might think of this as like, quote, good posture, tall spine, soft shoulders, soften your belly. Hands can rest in your lap, and maybe for the first few moments you close your eyes. No need to look at the screen, no need to be so concerned with what you look like. Allow your attention, your focus to turn inward. Your attention and your focus to turn to you. As if you're taking stock of your own inner world. Notice what you feel in your physical body. You might start at the head and slowly notice down through your shoulders, the neck. I'm not looking for anything in particular, nor pushing anything away, just noticing. Notice each arm, the palms, the fingers, your chest, your belly, your upper, middle, and lower back. Notice your hips, and each leg, the knees, ankles, and toes. Just simply noticing and really checking in with yourself. Sometimes we move through life fast, so fast that we're not checking in with ourselves, or maybe our concern, our focus is on other people, what they need, what they feel. Permission to let that go right now and focus on you. Take 3 deep breaths and allow these breaths to settle you even deeper into this practice right here. Breathe in fully. Breathe out softly. Take 2 more. And if you'd like, you can sigh out on your exhale, really allowing it to be a breath of letting go. Maybe you're letting go of your day, the week you've had, the conversation you've had, something that's just been weighing heavy and you want to put aside for now. Slowly begin to find circles over your torso. You can keep your eyes closed still if you'd like, or just get a soft gaze. And moving the torso around slowly. This movement is targeting your low back, the muscles on the sides of your body, and where they connect in your hips. Take 3 more in the same direction you're moving. Right. Lean far out to the side, lean forward. You get to choose how big or small the circles are. You might base that off of how it feels in your body. After that 3rd, pause for just a moment. And begin to go in the opposite direction. You might continue to flow in this circle-like movement. And you're also welcome to pause. If you get to a certain spot and you feel like it maybe needs a little extra TLC, And you can stay there and hold and breathe. Whatever you choose to do, whether it's movement, whether it's stillness, take 3 more breaths. Let them be like those soothing breaths just a few moments ago. Full breath in and out. After those 3 breaths or so, come back to seated, neutral. Slowly come down to your back. Before you do, I encourage you to have a towel or a blanket. And we'll use this essentially like a pillow. I don't recommend a pillow because it's often either too much or too little support. But a body towel or a small blanket folded in half is just about right, typically, to keep your head in line with the rest of your spine. So we're creating this neutral spine, which in truth doesn't happen that much in life because we're leaning forward, we're at a computer, we're driving, we're texting. And so here we're really encouraging the spine to neutralize. And honestly, that might be a little uncomfortable at first because it doesn't tend to happen. I don't want you to sit in pain, but if it's something that's just simply a little more uncomfortable, it's different, it's new, sit with it, stay with it. And if you need to adjust at any point in time, do. So as you're ready, you're coming down to your back slowly. You might come down to palms, to forearms, easing your way down. And then allowing the back of your head to rest on the blanket or whatever you're using. The blanket's just underneath your head, not necessarily the neck or your shoulders either. Bend your knees so the feet are on the ground if you aren't already there. And this is called constructive rest. This will be our home base for this practice. So pausing here for a few moments, allowing the spine to essentially neutralize. You might bring your arms down by your sides or even stretch them out a little wider, almost like a T shape. See what it feels like to have your palms open upward towards the sky. How does that feel through your arm, your shoulders? What happens if you turn your palms down towards the ground? Notice how it changes the whole perspective. Choose which one you'd like to sit with, palms up or palms down. Take 3 deep belly breaths. Breathing in deeply, filling from your chest to your belly. Hold your breath just for a moment and let it all go. 2 more like that. Breathing in, filling the chest, filling the belly. At least imagining that you can fill your chest and belly. Slowly letting it all go. All the air to release. 1 more breath. Take your feet a little wider than your hips. Feet are still on the ground. Feet are just simply maybe a foot and a half apart now. Drop your knees to one side, finding a small twist. Lift your knees back up, feet on the ground. Knees drop over to the other side. They may or may not touch the ground, and honestly, likely they won't, and that's okay. We're not looking for knees to touch the ground. Start to alternate in between these two. The intention of this is to free up tension in your lower body, primarily your hips. Finding movement in your hips. When we sit a lot or even stand a lot, tension tends to arise in our hips. So this is a way of combating that. One more on each side. And the knees will come back neutral. Walk your feet closer together. So distance of your legs is about the distance of your hips. Hug one knee all the way in towards your chest. So it's coming in towards you. It doesn't matter where it goes. It's simply the movement in towards you. Other leg, other foot, it stays where it is. And the one that's in towards you, wherever it is, you can wrap your hands, if you'd like, your hands on the outside of the shin, behind the calf, behind the thigh. If you like, you can squeeze and gently pull the thigh closer towards you. Know that that's just an option. Soften your shoulders. If you feel your shoulders rising up and rounding forward, soften. That might mean letting go of the bind with your hands and legs altogether, or just a little. Begin to let the leg go left and right, almost kind of like you're stirring a pot. So the one towards your chest. Your hands are with you. You can use your hands to manually move your leg left and right. Continuing to get into that hip. Now the movement might stay more left and right, or you can draw little circles, really feeling like you're stirring a pot now. And again, know that your hands are an option. You could just manually move your leg by itself. These circles can be as big or as small as you'd like. Find one more in the direction you've been going, and then switch. Next time your knee comes to your chest, stay there. So whereas the knee's been more in towards you, in towards your chest, now we're going to bring the knee over the hip. So it's a bit further. There's kind of like this 90 degrees between your hip and the knee. And then do the same with your foot and the knee. So 90 in the hip, 90 in the knee. You can keep your hands down by your sides, or you could bring your hands behind your thigh somewhere. Let your shoulders will be your guide, but listen to those. Meaning if your shoulders start to lift up and you're lifting up, you might let your hands be lower. You might just not even use your hands at all. All right. So notice your foot. Find a few taps, if you will, like you're tapping air, pointing the toes forward and the heel forward, toes back. It's a little bit there. And you might notice how you, of course, feel it in your ankle, but you might feel some engagement through your calf, your shin, Achilles tendon. Notice what you feel. Maybe feeling some muscle engagement from holding your leg up. All right. So you choose. You can just let your foot be fully relaxed now, or you could choose to hold it in either flex, whether it's the heels forward, toes back, or toes forward. You choose. We're going to slowly start to straighten the leg. It does not mean it's straight. Your body's not a geometric shape. There likely will still be a bend in your knee. Then bring it back to this 90 degree bend in your knee. All right. So straightening the leg to wherever it goes, bringing it back to the 90 degrees. Again, hands might be by your side. Keep moving. Hands might be by your side, or maybe they're behind the thigh. And as you move, you might play around with different ways of flexing your foot. So maybe you try one time with keeping your toes pointed and lifting your leg. Notice what you feel there. Perhaps more of a stretch, lengthening happening through the top of your foot, the shin. And you can maintain that bend as you come back to your 90. And then if you'd like to try the other perspective, you can press the heel forward, toes back, then lift up. Here you might feel a bit more through your hamstring, through your calf, your Achilles tendon. Find this movement 3 more times on your own. Let the movement be slow and controlled. If your leg shakes and wobbles, embrace that shake, embrace the wobble. Be gentle and kind with yourself. That means trying to step away from judging yourself, from wishing it were a different way, or forcing it to be something that it's not ready for. That's often a recipe for injury. All right, so the next time your leg goes straight-ish, bring your arms down by your sides if they aren't already there. Hands by your sides, palms down. Engage your core. You almost feel like you're squeezing in around your belly button, just a little, to engage the muscles in your leg, in your core. And slowly begin to lower your leg all the way down a straight-ish leg. Go slow. Feel the muscles in your quad, your thigh engage. Feel your core support this. And if you'd like, you can hover your leg just above your mat about 2 to 3 inches and breathe. Or you can just let your leg come all the way down and relax. And if you're hovering, you go ahead and relax. Let the leg go all the way down and give a little shake, a little left and right in your ankle and your whole leg. All right. Straighten both legs now. And gently feel each side. Notice any subtleties. Maybe there's small differences in the sides after moving that one. Maybe it's a drastic difference. I don't know. See what you feel. Compassionately noticing. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Both knees this time, almost like you're hugging in. And begin to draw circles with your knees. This is kind of similar to when we are sitting up and finding circles. But now we're reclined and just letting the knees go left and right. Your hands can be wrapped around your legs, or maybe they're just kind of by your sides. Return to constructive rest. So both feet on the ground. If you feel any tightness in your low back, you might lift your hips up for a moment and lower back down. May or may not help. All right, so we're switching sides now. Feet firm on the ground. The distance between your knees and your feet are about the distance of your hips. And now the opposite leg comes in towards your chest. And again, it might not be super close to your chest, or your knee might smack your chest. It doesn't matter. Allow whatever it is to be. It is what it is. So if you'd like more encouragement, bringing that knee, that thigh in towards you, then you can bring your hands around the shin. You could wrap your hands behind the back of your thigh. Hands can stay on the ground too. See if you can allow your shoulders to stay relatively relaxed. Knee stays in towards your chest. Find your left and right movement. So hands might help the leg move left and right. Or you might just move the leg left and right without using your hands. You can stay in the left and right, or you might start to find circles. You choose. And like all the circle-like movement we've taken, and really all movement, it's at your own determined pace, the size of the circle. Come back to stillness. So rather than the knee in towards you now, we'll stack the knee over the hip and find that 90-90. So the hips are neutral on the ground, the knee is up over your hip, and the foot is out from the knee. Find a little movement in your ankle. You can tap the toes forward and back. And you can roll your ankle. Maybe do that in both directions. You know where we're going. Maybe you're anticipating where we're going. So rest the foot, and you can choose how you want to engage it. Maybe you don't, it just does its own thing, or you can flex in a particular way. Begin to find your hamstring stretches. So we're straightening the leg to whatever point, and then slowly coming back to that 90-degree bend. Move at a slow and steady pace. You might play around with flexing your foot in different ways, right? You could do one with toes pointed the whole time. You might flex so the heel is forward and your toes are back. You can stay with your preferred way. Doing this 3 more times. And after the third, stay with the leg lifted. You choose the flex of your foot. Engage your core. Squeeze gently around the belly button. You might even feel how that tightens in your low back. Safe tight there. And slowly lower your leg. Slow, like you're moving through jello. Feel the leg engage as you get lower. Feel the core engage to support this movement. And if you'd like to hover your leg above the mat, do that and take 1 full breath in. A full breath out, and release the leg all the way. Shake a little left and right. Straighten both legs now. You can continue to Wiggle the ankles, the feet, the legs. That feels soothing. Setting up for our final resting pose. Many options here. You can lie flat. If you have pillows or a yoga bolster, you could put it underneath your knees, going alongside the mat. That can be helpful to release any tension you might be having in your low back. If lying down is not so comfortable, you might sit up. And if you'd even prefer to lay on your side, you could do that. Ask yourself how you would be most comfortable right now, and bring yourself there. Maybe to be fully comfortable, you need a blanket draped over your body. Maybe you're a little chilly or cool. Choose whether you'd like to close your eyes or keep them open with a soft gaze. Again, asking what would be most restful, most relaxing for you. See if you can allow your body to soften and relax even more. Feel your shoulders drop to soften. Soften in your belly. Soften your low back. Your legs down to your feet, soften. Even the tongue and your brow, soften and relax. Arms can rest by your sides, palms up or palms down. You can even rest your hands, hand on heart or belly. Allow yourself this time to do nothing. Know that rest can be and is just as productive as all the doing, and that rest is necessary to keep going, to do all the things that you want and need to do. Rest is a key ingredient. Staying as you are, begin to notice where your body is touching the supports underneath you. Notice the texture. Is it soft? Is it firm? Can you sense your own breathing? Do you notice sound? As you lie here, offer yourself gratitude. Gratitude for showing up and dedicating time and effort to this practice. And acknowledge yourself for one other thing. Maybe something you've done recently for yourself or someone else. You might acknowledge a trait or characteristic about yourself that you appreciate, that you admire. Take a moment to acknowledge yourself. As you're ready, you can begin to find small movement. Movement might look like wiggling fingers and toes, or circling the ankles or wrists. Maybe you even take a full body stretch if you're lying down, reaching legs away, reaching arms up overhead. Maybe you even yawn. And to slowly transition, you might roll over to the side. Bottom arm can support you like a pillow. Take your time coming up to seated. If you're not ready, you can stay as you are. If you're ready, you can use your top arm to press yourself up. If you've got a chair nearby, you can also use that. Take a final moment. Sit how you'd like, or maybe you're staying lying down. Take 3 final breaths of this practice. Maybe hands come to heart and belly, or they rest in your lap. Eyes open or closed. Breathe in. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, out, and one more. Rub your hands together, rub your palms together, creating a little heat, some warmth, energy. You can either put that warmth, that energy to your heart. You might cover your face. Slowly let that sink in. Palms together at your heart. Thank you for being here. It's always a joy to have you, even if I can't see you. Thank you for being here. This class is offered every Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Feel free to bookmark this so you can come back and enjoy it again and again. If you think this practice might be helpful for someone, hit the share button. Share it on your Facebook wall. Share it directly with a friend. Sharing is caring. I'm Casey Jean. Thank you again for being here, and I'll see you next time. Take care.